What's up YouTube, Jamie the Kid 00 here. For those of you who, a bit of a history lesson for you now. For those of you who were subscribed to me 6 months ago at the start of the format, you'll remember that my first ever deck of the format was Lightsworn's. So I figured now that the format is coming to the close, we're in the last couple of weeks of play with the September 2011 ban list. And before we go into this atrocious, horrible thing that is the next ban list, I thought I'd actually rebuild my Lightsworns with my current cards and with the current build and the meta in mind, and actually show you guys what I think, go full circle with it. You know, just bring it back one last time before we actually move into the next ban list. So without further ado, that is the story as to why I'm bringing you this quite outdated deck, which I still feel is kind of relevant, but it still has trouble keeping up. Anyway, let's get into it. I'm kind of losing my train of thought here. First up, I run the 3 compulsory Judgment Dragons because they're Judgment Dragon. There's nothing much else you can say about it. Boss monster, easy to get out with this deck if you play the deck right. Next up, I play a lot of one-offs in this deck. I play one Celestia because it's Celestia, drop it like a Monarch, it's absolutely crazy. Great card for milling, all sorts of stuff like that. Lumina, if this goes to 2, it's going to be awesome, like awesome-ish. Won't make the deck OP, nothing like that. Just a really great card, looking forward to seeing it go to 2. Lightsworns need it. It's a good card, it helps you swarm at 2, things like that. Next up, this card is absolutely amazing. It went from like really crap to really amazing this meta, and no one seems to realise it. The fact that Insectors are one of the 3 most popular decks at the moment, this card makes your entire field, well, entire Lightsworn based field, unaffected by those Insectors, because the Insectors can't even target your monsters. So unlike if your cards were unaffected, they have to pop one of their own cards if they want their combo to go off. If you've only got this, and they try to, you got it in defense, and Dragonfly tries to get a Hornet and pop it, they're gonna have to hit one of their own cards if they want to activate the Hornet effect, because they cannot even target this. So it's absolutely amazing. I might side a second one for Insectors. We'll see how it tests. Next up, I run the 1 Eren. Eren is great for getting rid of Zen mains, all that cool stuff. I play 1 Jane, because Jane is a cool beater. I play 1 Garoth, because he's a good name, he's got a cool milling effect, cool drawing effect, he's just awesome like that. That's it for my 1-ofs in this deck. I still run a couple of 2-ofs. I play 2 Lilas. I was trying to get another Hollow Lila, but because this is trying to be my foiled out hobby deck, but I just couldn't find another one in time, so I have 1 common, because I sold off the others before the reprint. Made a bit of money out of that. And then finally I run the 2 Raikos. Notice this deck does not run Wolf. I was advised by a friend of mine at my locals not to run Wolf because it makes the deck far more consistent. And I wanted to build a consistency based build this time, rather than basing it so much on luck sacking and things like that. Onto the non-Lightsworn components. I play 2 Card Troopers because Card Trooper is awesome. It just helps you mill everything you need, helps you get to things faster. It's a 1/9 beater, and summoning this and bumping heads with Thunder King is absolutely awesome. And just plays like that. And then finally I play the 1 Glow Up Ball before it gets banned. I don't have a Plague Spreader anymore, I traded that off, so I'm currently playing without it. I don't miss it, it was useful, but at the same time the -1 I disliked. I much prefer this. And I don't feel I need to synchro as much anymore. It just means that Trishula plays are much harder for me to make. Moving on to the Dark component, I play 2 Necro Gardener. Because Necro Gardener is Necro Gardener, and it's awesome to mill, saves your life. A lot of people forget that you've milled it and things like that. So this is really good for tripping up your opponent and saving you, it saves you a lot of times. And again, bring on the haters, because this is what I've been getting hate for all the damn time in every one of my videos. I play 3 Tour Guides from the Underworld and 1 Tour Bus. The splashability of these cards in the deck, as I will explain, and you'll all ignore me again, is great. The fact that when you mill this effect will kick off, you can return, say, a milled Veiler, or anything that you didn't want to mill. You can return a Hornet, which is very relevant. It's also dark fodder for your BLS that you play. It's also an easy Xyz into Zen mains for defense, because this deck needs time to set up. This card is very, very, very relevant in this deck. It has great synergy. Even if you mill it, it's food for something else. Listen to me, this is not splashed. This was thought through. Please, can I not get any more hateful comments saying, learn to play the game because you're spamming tour guides and everything. I like to build decks that can run tour guide because I spent the money to get it. That is all. Anyway, tour guide works in the deck. Next up, I play, for my hand traps, 2 Effect Veiler and 1 Honest. I'm opting out of playing Gauze at the moment because the meta at my locals is very Insector and like destruction based. And Gauze just doesn't survive in that. Insectors will usually swing and then pop in main phase 2. So Gauze isn't really a good play at the moment. The 2 Veilers are sound. As I always tell you, I don't run Max C in my locals. I side it. But that's it for my hand traps. And then the final monster I run is 1 BLS. I'm 5 minutes in and I've only just finished the monsters. Sorry guys. Onto the spells. I run the staple Reborn, Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, Book of Moon. I don't run any MSTs because I have my Lilas in the form, you know, as walking MSTs. Next up I play 1 Charge. Finally got a secret one. 3 Solar Recharges because it's Solar Recharge and it's awesome. This is almost Lightsworn Pure. I don't want it to be called Twilight, so I run 3 of those. I really like Beckoning Light over honestly, that hardly even looks super. I much prefer Beckoning Light over what's it called? Monster Reincarnation. Simply because while Monster Reincarnation is quicker, this card gives you much more of a plus. It can get you a lot more stuff, and it can dump the Glow Up Bulb and the Necro Gardeners that will inevitably get to your hand, that you just don't want to waste your normal summon to set to try and get into the graveyard, and things like that. So it really gives you that advantage, I guess. And it's just the fact that playing this and getting 3 JDs to hand and then dumping the 3 JDs for game is awesome. It's a great play. And like it even recycles BLS and things like that, so it's really useful. Next up, I play a lot of traps in this deck for a Lightsworn deck. I've tried to keep control in this as my main thing, because I didn't want to just run in there and just get run over by all the monster effects that are going around. So I still play the 2 Fiendish Chain. Fiendish Chain is awesome, long story short. Loses out to MST all the time though. And then finally I play the 1 Torrential. This goes to 2. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And then I play the 2 Solemn Warnings and the Compulsory Judgment, which is absolutely awesome. Onto the extra deck. This isn't a complete extra deck, but it's what I'd run. I'm not sure what else I'd throw in for the sake of throwing in. Got the Token. Got the Armory Arm. This is all an extra deck of one-offs. Ally of Justice Catastor. Brianak. Black Rose. That looks really nice. Stardust. Scrap Dragon. Trishula before it gets banned. That's it for the Synchros. Onto the Exceeds. 1 Leviathan Dragon. 1 Levier. 1 Giga Brilliant for the tour guide into BLS plays. 1 Zenmains for your stall plays. 1 Utopia, because I don't run that many level 4s. I'd probably throw in a Chaos number Utopia for if I played Mind Control. And then finally, because I would side Cyber Dragons in any deck I build, I play 1 Chimera Tech. Alright then guys, this has been the revival of my Lightsworn deck for the last time before the next format. I doubt I'll play this at locals on the weekend. I just thought I'd actually rebuild it and test it. I'll probably be playing wind-ups on the weekend. I'm going to reinvent those because I've heard a lot about Atlanta and a lot of interesting choices like Zero Factories and things like that. So we'll see what happens. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And I'll see you with a couple more videos and then videos for the next format. Have a good one.